It's glad to have you be part of our show today, and thank you so very much for allowing us right into your day. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry.
And I'm Chuma Okohe.
All right, without much ado, let's kickstart today with all that we have on our newspaper headlines, and right after that will be, conversation also for today. But please do well to be part of our day. Have a say in what we say. You can always find it reaches at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. We have today in the studio to go through all that. We have our newspaper headlines. Barrister Evans Ofeli, Barrister Law Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Barrister, and welcome.
Good morning, Barrister.
Thank you so very much for giving us your time. So let's kick start today with an interesting story. Joma.
Yeah, we'll begin the newspaper segment with the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, justifying Nigerians' participation at the ongoing joint Arab-Islamic summit and billing it on the country's proximity and long-standing relations with the Middle East. The summit commenced on Monday in Saudi Arabia. President Tinubu is addressing the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict with emphasis on Nigeria's call for an immediate ceasefire and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. Now, yeah, that's interesting. Barrister Batsufo, looking at this story in a time where our country is facing a lot of problems, from insecurity to the price of fuel to even some states not even paying the new minimum wage. Our president and the vice president deemed it fit to go to Saudi Arabia for an Islamic conference. What's your reaction?
Well, this is not the first time Nigeria. In fact, by the way, Nigeria is a member of the IOC. Hope you are aware.
Does it need to?
But Nigeria put us there, forcefully. Is it Banda Abacha? Either of them, I can't remember, but was not a unanimous decision. Was a military fiat movement, to enlist us into that place by force. So we're there. And what anybody would do naturally, not only our president that is calling for a ceasefire, you look at from Lebanon to virtually all of them that spoke yesterday. Yeah. In fact, this year's conference is about the war in Gaza, Israel, and all. Everybody's calling up on Israel. Don't do this as well, don't do this. Nobody's talking about the people who lit the fire. Hamas. None of them. Because this is an Islamic wing, left wing, same interests. Including our president who went there with the vice president. Same Islamic acculturation. So, if there's war anywhere in the world, by international policy, really, whether there's war in your own country, crisis around it, you won't go internationally to say that Israel should continue. Nobody will do that. So, it's not out of place that President is saying what he's saying, but what is missing in what everyone is saying. But Prime Minister, the President, is missing is nobody's talking about the fact that Hamas started this thing, and this is a conflagration. This has taken us this far. You understand? In fact, one of the Prime Minister was even condemning Israel for taking down Hamas leader and the other one, the two of them, taking them down, and then Christian it as organized terrorism. You can imagine such an irony, Who is the terrorist here? Israel's on the defense. Okay, you cannot allow your country to be eroded by Islamic sects, groups, and fundamentalists. You understand? So, if we're not talking anything, if we're going to say anything about terrorism, it's not Israel. Israel want to preserve. They're on a mission to self-preservation. They have to keep their country. So, if you are making pleas or appeal and all that okay, ceasefire in Gaza, ceasefire here, ceasefire there. That is neither here nor there. It's Israel's own prerogative to look at the situation and say, with what we have done so far, you remember, if you kill one Israeli, they kill 100. You understand? So that is their own philosophy. So it's for them to look at what they have done and say, okay, we've done enough. Well, every other country can play. I don't want to sound like though I encourage the killing or whatever is going on there. But what I'm saying that this issue cannot be addressed in isolation.
Yes. So as much as we respect and of course are inundated with information and news happening outside of our shores. I think it's very funny that the first place, why should we even be on the table, speaking on this particular matter, while in Nigeria we have more critical issues to talk about. Muhammad Idris had come to justify the reasons why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is speaking and trying to broker peace between Israel and Lebanon, a country that even in spite of all the chaos they still have electricity. No national grid is funny now. So why should we even be seated right there and talking about issues we do not understand? We have issues like that and we can't even solve it.
I agree with you 100% that we're out there talking about issues we do not understand. Because the truth is that the internal war here is worse than whatever is going on in those places. You see, it's the media that you get to hear about all what is going on. If you go to those places, it don't happen in all the cities though. It's just one city, that is being hit by just one city. If you look at not like the whole of Lebanon.
Yeah, it's not the southern that borders the northern Israel.
So look at Gaza. It's just a spot that this is going on. Every other place they have they are living their life normal. You understand? But here in Nigeria, everywhere shut down, and we're out there talking. Under our watch, even under the presidency, there's a new terrorist group that's been there. Okay. Now, majorly for the southwest, for the northwest. Yeah, because the northwest over time have been immune technically, except for when Boko Haram started newly. But you know that they've been immune technically from this insurgency. But now you not have another one there. There's killings every day. Okay, kidnapping is on a rampage. Okay, and we have a president and the vice president going to address issues outside the shores of this country. You see, the president will have no business being there.
Exactly.
To have delegated this. Exactly. This is not one frontline government activity that we should. Just like we're not jumping up and down, so that we're there, we're making contribution to whatever it is where we don't understand. I think that that's what in the Middle East is a given. Okay, they have their ways. Part of their belief is that they have to keep to make whatever it is they have to do. So it's not in our place to then go there and abandon all we have to do here to chase these people and all that. So we have enough issues in our hands. In fact, I believe that we have more war situation in Nigeria than in those places where they are able to feed themselves under crisis. They have electricity, they have all the things of life. They still maintain the best universities in the world in those countries. Okay. The ASU is about to go on strike. Not very soon. And then they've not been paid. That issue is always there.
And then else is about to go on strike too.
Yes. First of all, the basis of those states.
Not paid, they're not paid.
So, why would the federal government take that decision and states will be failing? And therefore, it's not for me. I think we're not getting it right.
Thank you so much.
All right, very, very unfortunate. Remember, our president refused to even go for hunger.
Yes,
they thought it's fit to go for the RUC. Well, let's see how that goes, though. Let's look to the Punch newspaper, and we have a big story here. Petrol pump price may drop as Dangote marketers sign a deal. I have some writers here. Marketers to begin loading in refinery. NNPCL and 24 trillion naira annual fuel import patronizes the Dangote refinery.
Okay, moving on the top strip. Federal government spent 19 billion naira on presidential planes in 15 months.
And also we have Obaseki hands over to Okwebalo today. Pardoned 10 inmates.
Okay, moving on the governorship polls. Parties perfect vote buying plans candidates will step down. And when you look at the front page, you see pictures of the beavers arriving at the Central Bank of Nigeria in Akure, where the election materials will be stored.
The sensitive ones.
Right.
Yes. And of course, this goes to ask, really, of what use is all of this? All of this, so much money spent in conducting a decent, what we call decent elections. At the end of the day, we still have vote buying and which is making a mess of the whole system. Do we really need an election?
But the vote buying has assumed the new status. Okay. No, we need an election because the constitution says so. We cannot bypass or put it aside. Otherwise, breaking the law itself will bring more problem. So, and there's no way you go further without having further litigation that there must be an election. And the court will make another, the INEC must conduct election. And the court is not even interested whether the election is free or fair, or because there cannot be a perfect election. Okay. But what we should be talking about is this vote buying of yours. See, in 2015, I came out from my estate to vote. That was actually the last time I voted. I got there, we've organized everything in our estate and made sure that everything was in place. And whilst we're after accreditation, in fact, during the accreditation, I noticed foul play and I went around. During the voting, I discovered that all the people who came out to ensure that we have a free and fair election had sold their voters.
Sold their vote.
Yes. I was the only one going up and down. So I went to the chairman of the estate and said, what is going on? We had a meeting before today. Now we're going to ensure that our polling unit is clean of all this. He said he doesn't know.
But this is an affluent neighborhood.
Yes. I told him, my God, wow, okay. So he has sold his own vote. The person I was reporting to has sold his vote. Because after we had a meeting that day to that day, they had another one in the night. I was not aware. So I was going from one person to the other to look for who to report to so that we can start maybe a mini protest and restore our vote and all that. I was alone walking in the store. Everybody has sold their vote. You understand? So this thing is endemic. Even people who are going to do will collect money, collect gratification, vote in a particular way. So what is going to happen now in Ondo? We are talking about, if you look at the poverty index in Nigeria, Ondo falls among one of the states where you have Ekiti, Ondo, and Kogi. There are about 6 or 7 of them that fall in that category where poverty rate is very high. Okay, so we're looking at the situation. Who is going to dissuade these citizens from selling their votes on that day? When the politicians have already, made up their mind as to what they want to do, they are going to buy votes.
And do you think electronic voting might solve all of this?
We're not yet there, but electronic voting may have a place in. They just conclude the American election. Even though you have allegations here and there, but we will see the overwhelming. Even if Trump or any of them are sold or bought, yes, just like we say under our law that even if there's substantial compliance, did the substantial compliance affect the outcome? In Trump's case, would you say that even if the other side claimed that there's any discrepancy, could they have won? And could Kamala Harris have won? The Republicans taking that decision, the Democrats taking that decision that this is the woman that will now, Americans are not ready for that history you want to make.
In 2025,
for a woman to Americans. So what I'm saying, back to our own case, it's still going to be, business as usual. We just concluded the Edo election. The Edo election was 20,000 naira the cost of vote. In areas where you have low point, in areas where you have strong point, 10,000 naira. And that's what got a problem. A problem was one who told the people of those states that is going to bring in insecurity to the state. So whatever it is, it's politics. We play along what they are. That's what we have.
Thank you, Vice Thank you, Vice. Let's get into the next, the last daily on our decks, and that's the Nation newspaper. On the top strip, you have Consumer Credits Corp targets 400,000 in June.
And also, we have on the top strip here, ICBC chair, why assets recovery is important for Africa, and also troops intensify onslaught against the terror group Lokurawa.
Okay, moving on, still on the top strip, Dangote Refinery, Ipman strike deal in petrol lifting, and ex-depot price not decided.
And also we have no pay for workers without residence registration number, Quora government wants.
Okay, let's look at the big story here. Disco risk federal government agency sanctions over meter charge. We have about two riders say state action. FCCPC and ARC insists consumers should not pay for replaced meters. Now, Barrister Evans, looking at this disco issue, and at time they were saying, okay, a lot of Nigerians are paying and they're not getting the quality service they deserve for the amount they pay, and now they're trying to change the meter, and the consumers are not wanting to pay because the amount is way over, it's outrageous, out of the roof. Now, can we ever solve the electricity problem in the country, Nigeria? And are we looking at the way things are going? Can the poor at some point be able to afford to pay for electricity?
Well, I don't even know why they are selling the meter in the first place. You are buying power. You need a device to set running. You are supposed to be given the device to set the power you buy running. That's what it's supposed to be. But here, they now have a company they contract production to. Then instead of them to get it to the end user will have to go and buy. Sometimes not even from another company entirely. Then you will now begin to pay gratification of bribe to have the power whatever to come and install it and all that.
But Pastor Vasufeli, some people have equaled it to the telecom competition. It's the business of the telecommunication to build masts, broadbands, and all of that. It's your responsibility to buy a phone.
Yes, it's your responsibility to buy a phone. That's the gadget.
Yes.
But in this case, you notice that at some point the telecoms were given the SIM card free.
Sure.
You notice that even when they charge you a fee, there's a credit in there, which is more than the amount of money you're paying. Sometimes they were selling the charge card, whatever you call the SIM card for 50 naira and all that. And so at some point free. So I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. This is a gadget you are supposed to use to run the process. Okay, when we had the old meter, the one that they fixed, I don't know whether you know that one. That one that they made on the wall.
Yes.
They come to the store. You don't buy it.
It's very true. Very true.
You don't buy it. We can have that. Yes. So I don't think it's right. And even if you have to sell it, make it available and make it affordable. For you to increase the price, the power itself is not cheap. So everything is on the rise. And that's not the way to go. We need to, at least look at people's income and find the middle ground. That is government responsibility. But government is not doing anything because they too actually sold these power holding companies to friends and colleagues. That's why it's not working. They didn't hand this over to proper businessmen who will think value ahead of what you are paying. You understand? Why are the telecoms? Because it was the telecoms that they copied.
Exactly.
Okay, why are the telecoms so effective? And then this power thing is not effective. The only difference is that the telecom came up and set up as business people. In this case, the president himself is a huge shareholder in this power holding thing. You understand? The current president. And the likes of them, retired generals and all that, they are the ones who, and when there is no compliance, there is no consequence, no penalty. No penalty whatsoever. It was one of the, I think NRC that came out and told us that power supply is not human right. Whereas the Constitution says people should not be placed in dehumanizing conditions. When you put people under darkness, that is dehumanizing. So it breaches the Constitution. It breaches the right to have a good life. Okay? So, but they could come and say that because they know that there's no consequence for anything. I mean, those who bought it are cabals, friends of the state, who make sure that things don't work proper. If you take all those this thing from them and hand it over to maybe foreigners, okay, or proper business people, they will think value first. And then people will be able to switch from one to the other. You understand? They will think value and will have efficiency. But the way it is now, you can never have efficiency. And you keep having, they'll just wake up one day and increase price. Wake up one day and increase price.
Thank you so much, Barrister Evans. Thank
You know,
you.
and the interesting part is the old meter is season far better
So
than
that
the
you
new
know
one,
what,
because
sure.
the experience I have had personally, the old meter is easier to recharge. You know, you can recharge,
Charge
but this
it.
one you need to wait for a particular time, you know, for network to come before you recharge. And that's so funny.
So when there's an emergency,
Yeah, when there's emergency,
imagine a
you know,
hospital
yeah,
where
exactly.
they try to do a surgery and there's no
You
for
need to
them
recharge,
to.
they're begging for
Okay.
network. Well, that's very unfortunate. But that's about the size of our package for this particular segment. We have to say thank you to you, Pastor.
Thank you, Barrister Evans. Thank you.
Yes.
When they return. And I would say threatens industrial action in states yet to implement new minimum wage effective 1st of December. Stay with us, we'll be right back.